I don't think it's really working. I think it's broken.
Welcome to the 2020 Midwesterns tournament, part of the APTA Grand Prix Series. We're live at the Hyde Park Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live. Brought to you by our national sponsors Viking and Uline, and our local sponsors Roto-Rooter, Total Platform Tennis, Formidable Asset Management, MetLife. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel, bringing you the women's final between our number 1 seeds of Hanisch and Cooper and our number 4 seeds of Dardis and Shay. So Mark, why don't you tell us a bit about our players?
Well, let's introduce the players. Brad, Annika Cooper from Bedford Corners, New York, and Flor Hanisch from Stanford are the number 1 seeded team and the number 1 ranked team in the country. And they're going to be playing against 2 warriors, Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay. Cynthia's from Stanford, Amy's from Wilton, Connecticut. And as we take a look at the players, that's Amy Shay at the bottom left-hand corner. Cynthia Dardis is currently out of the picture in the right-hand corner lobbing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And at the net, you have Annika Cooper, who we're going to call Van Starnberg a couple of times, apologies. And she's in the white hat, and her partner, Flor Hanisch, is at the net in the visor, hitting some volleys. So, Brad, what do you think about the match?
It's a great matchup. You know, between Dardis and Shay have been around, and they are a team that knows everybody and has a strategy for everybody. I expect to see a lot of Cooper and Hanisch, attacking Dardis's corner, making her work.
So that's a really good point, and that leads us into the Viking keys to victory. So why don't you walk us through those, Brad?
Well, for Cooper and Hanisch, this is really, Cooper's first time out at the court. She got in to a pro flight tournament, but there's some potential rust. This is her first final. So we'll see. She hasn't really been tested yet, so we'll see how she reacts if she gets tested here. Now, they're going to play Cynthia Dardis, I would think, a lot in that corner.
As everybody does.
And Dardis, as he always does, is usually up to the task and hits great lobs, looks to set up her partner and set up her own attacking forehand. So we'll see how they react to Dardis's cross-court lob, covering that shot and being able to get back in position. And then yesterday, Mark, we saw Annika Cooper's struggling with her serve. Very difficult time holding. So her serve will definitely be an issue. We saw her practicing even before this match, working on an underhand serve.
Yeah, she actually didn't hold in the semis. Served 4 times and was broken all 4 times.
And they won 6-2, 6-3. So those were 4 of the 5 games they lost.
Okay, on the other side of the net, Dardis and Shay. Amy Shay, possessor of one of the best overheads in the game. Hits that low driving ball, very difficult to really attack. And I don't think you're going to see Cooper getting all those high looks that we saw yesterday.
I think that's absolutely going to be a key.
And then Dardis' lob, as we talked about the other side, you're going to see Cynthia trying to set her partner up by lobbing cross court. And there was a little bit of confusion yesterday in the Hanisch-Cooper match in the semi, where you didn't see Hanisch sliding quite enough to the middle of the court to play that ball. And then the final issue to me, which we talked about a little bit off air, is who wants to play fast, who wants to play slow. And clearly in this match, speed of play, the faster the play, the more it benefits Cooper and Hanisch.
Right. We'll probably see Cooper and Hanisch hit some hard overheads to get, Dardis and Shay moving quickly out of position so they can put the ball behind them. We'll probably see them also do some blitzing, dipping the ball low, moving in quickly, trying to finish those points. The ability to handle that will be huge for Dardis and Shay.
If we're going to play tennis, Cooper and Hanisch are going to win.
Yeah.
If we're going to play paddle, it's going to be a real battle because Dardis and Shay have a plan for everybody, as you said. They give you nothing.
Yeah, we look forward to this. And, a lot of people say that Dardis and Shay like to put a match into the trenches sometimes. And they've been able to do that. And like you said, if it becomes just this bang-bang match, that's not going to serve them well. But that being said, Dardis and Shay have offense. Amy Shay's got a great forehand, great backhand. One of the better serves on the tour, I think, too.
Yeah, although sometimes she can get a little mental about it. Yeah, I would say Amy Shay is probably the best woman, long term who's never won a nationals. Been top 5 in the country for the last 15, 20 years.
I certainly wouldn't argue that. We should mention the conditions. You can see it out there. It's cloudy. It's going to be almost a record high of close to 70 degrees today. Right now, it's completely dry, so it's literally perfect conditions.
Ladies and
take a look
gentlemen,
at the weather map.
this
Well,
is the final round of the Midwesterns, the Region 4 Grand Prix Series event. We will have on the left of the chair from Stamford, Connecticut, Cynthia Dardis with her partner, Amy Shay from Wilton, Connecticut. To the right of the chair from Bedford, New York, Annika Cooper with her partner from Stamford, Connecticut, Florentina Hanisch.
Let's take a look at that weather map again, Brad. Because this looks like one of those biblical storms.
No, it's coming. It is on the way. What's that yellow stuff there, Mark?
Good match, ladies.
I think the yellow and the red is thunder and lightning, Brad.
Yeah, we might have some,
Might
and that'll
have some of
probably be
that.
here in a few hours. You see as the map comes in, it's getting around 12 or 1 o'clock. So it'll be interesting around then, but we look forward to a great morning of play prior to that.
Yeah, it's bad. And I know you were saying that it goes all the way down to Oklahoma. So there's not going to be any missing it this afternoon.
It's coming.
And it potentially will impact the draw and the schedule for the men's match. If conditions are truly miserable, men's quarters could potentially be pushed off till Sunday morning.
The one thing that you will notice out there, you can see in the background the trees blowing in there. There's a bit of a wind advisory as well, which could come into play today. But the warm weather, the cloudy conditions, it's perfect right now for the women's final. So how do you see this match, Mark?
I think that there's a level that you got to see Dardis and Shay get over, which they almost always do. I think that the warm conditions are going to help them. I mean, it's very hard to put the ball away. I think it'll also help the hard Hanisch overhead. You had a great line yesterday, Brad. You said, I would never bet against Dardis and Shay. I mean, clearly Cooper and Hanisch are the favorites. Dardis and Shay have had by their standards, a weak last 12 months. So I like Cooper and Hanisch, but I think it's going to be a battle.
And that's the key.
You're good to go.
They got to turn it into a battle. And they can't hit those shots where Hanisch and Cooper can hurt them.
Love.
This is Flor Hanisch serving to Amy Shay.
I think that went in.
Yep.
I mean, it was blocked by Amy Shay's body on her feet here, but she drove it off the net and it skipped to the right. So heck of a shot.
Great view of the Amy Shay backhand. Maybe you can diagram that for us later. That was really interesting. Watch her kind of like
Yeah,
get her
she
whole
holds it
body
in
ready.
and then turns on it quickly, catches it in the front.
Almost coils.
Yep. And she's got a great backhand. She hit the forehand too. There you see Dardis and Shay's experience almost right away. We saw teams yesterday, Mark, anytime the ball was driven, trying to make a volley when they were out of position and missing the ball. Dardis and Shay let it go through, keep the point going.
30.
And you see early the wind moving the ball around. Cooper almost swung and missed at that ball. This is an important first game, especially with the Cooper serve looming in the background. That's uncharacteristic for Amy Shay.
30 all.
Well, she took the strike at the backhand, couldn't quite get her feet underneath her and recovered for the next ball. There's that lob we were talking about, the cross-court lob there from Dardis. Great shot.
30-40.
And maybe we'll get a slow motion replay of that later, Brad, for you to kind of show everybody why it's so effective and how Cooper and Hanisch should defend against it. They break opportunity early for Dardis and Shay. Well, the Hanisch serve is really good. Wow, surprising miss.
First game, Dardis and Shay. They lead the first set, 1-love.
That was a great game from Dardis and Shay. A couple of loose errors, but they lobbed really well. Twice they lobbed it over Cooper and Hanisch and pushed them back off the net. And as we said, that's going to be one of the keys to victory for Dardis and Shay.
And this is so characteristic of Dardis and Shay. Long conversation, second game. Coming out, looks like in the I formation. Well, virtual and I.
Yeah, they're going to put Amy Shay there, and she'll move left or right from time to time. It's a good move. Keeps the opponent guessing. Great volley. That's a great lob from Shay. Good play.
Cooper
Love
really saw that
15.
ball coming and jumped on the net.
You're exactly right. I was about to say the same thing. She was all over that before Shay hit it. Shay's going to have to disguise those a little because it wasn't a bad drive, but she's just getting caught out of position.
She changed her grip a little too early.
There's the Shay overhead.
15 all.
Long, low. If you watch where her ball lands on the court all the time, you'll see she hits the ball deeper, less up and down than many of the players. It's a great lesson for a lot of people out there.
Reminds me a little bit of Scott Estes overhead. A little bit of spin, low driving ball.
And she'll rarely put the ball inside the service box unless she's attacking a side screen. Everything will go beyond. Ooh.
15-30.
Ill-advised change of direction there from Dardis.
And I think she thought she saw a little spot behind Cooper there. Just missed.
30 all.
That is a, signature Cooper play. Take the ball at the top of the bounce like you were talking about yesterday, Mark. Hitting it, dipping it downwards, and blitzing behind it.
Brad, do you think how much belief do you think there is in the Dardis Shay side of the court? They've obviously had a tough year.
That's a great question. I would think at their level there's always belief. And if there's not real belief, there's still fight and battle, and they'll see how it goes. So I think it's there.
Another bad
30-40.
overhead from Dardis. You cannot hit that down-up overhead into the Hanisch corner. She's such a good athlete, moves so well, catches that ball early and hits it down at your feet.
Yeah, if they hit a lot of down-up overheads and they don't get to the side screen, it's going to be a tough day.
But that's what Cooper Hanisch want. They want to see Dardis hitting overheads. If Dardis is hitting a lot of overheads, Cooper and Hanisch are going to win the match.
It'll definitely be a help for him for sure, without a doubt. Oh, great touch there from Amy Shay.
Looked like she was in trouble, and she
Advantage
comes up with
Dardis.
a great volley that lands at Cooper's feet.
That Cooper she didn't know to move forward or move back. She got stuck in between.
Game point.
Tell you, Dardis did a great job in all of her serve and volleys, pushing that first volley away from the blitzing player.
And there you saw Dardis and Shay switching at the net to get the Shay overhead in the middle.
Yep. And it's even more than that for them. They also like Dardis close to the net because Dardis has a great drop shot. And Shay will push those long ones. People will try. Dardis cut them off, hit drop shots and volleys. Great playing
Game
from Dardis
Dardis and
Shay.
Shay. They lead 2-love.
Great start for them. Cooper and Hanisch just making some errors. Cooper missed 2 returns there.
But it's also
wide.
a matter of Dardis and Shay asking the questions we didn't see asked yesterday, as Dardis and Shay continually come up with the right volley, the right overhead.
Right.
That was not
Love
a
That was
confident
not a
swing back.
confident serve. I almost thought she was just taking a practice
It looked
serve
like
or
she was
something.
testing the wind.
We're going to see this as a huge part to the match. They're a little out of sorts
Love 30.
right now.
Well, do you think that the Cooper service problems are kind of bleeding into the rest of her game?
I mean, it'd be hard to argue against that. I mean, I think she's going to right her return. She missed a couple in that first service game before, but she'll right that.
15-30.
Boy, Hanisch does that as well as anybody in the game, the way she moves the net, takes advantage of opportunities. She's very aggressive up there. She's also a great partner. You saw the big smile after the winning volley. Always positive.
Yeah, she is absolutely one of the best at standing in there and finishing volleys on the women's tour. Oh, there's the blitz play, but great volleys.
But again,
Great
they have the
volleys from
answer.
Dardis.
And that all started with a bad Dardis overhead. They volley so well. And these are the questions that nobody asked Cooper and Hanisch yesterday.
Nicely done, though. Great point. Lot of
30
pressure.
all.
And a great lob from Hanisch. The same lob we talked about from Dardis. Hanisch found that slot. Underhand serve.
2 faults in this game.
30-40.
And the funny thing, there are 2 faults with no intention of trying to hit a good serve, just in the box. It is going to be a big thing to overcome, because at this point you'd have to say it's
Game
mental
Dardis and
as much as
Shay.
it's anything else,
Set
Mark.
score is Dardis and
I think
Shay
it's
3.
all mental, Brad.
Cooper and Hanisch love.
Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It's the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of course, of the APTA Grand Prix Tour. A couple of quick thank yous, Brad. You know, Heather Propp ran the tournament, played in it with a torn meniscus. Jay Goldman, who's handling the umpires here, Mark Keeby, and of course Jackie Cameron, the APTA Tour Director, and Ann Sheedy, APTA Executive Director. Everybody works very hard to make these things happen. It's not a coincidence that when things go smoothly.
Absolutely incredible work by everybody involved.
Tough weekend with the weather. Okay, Amy Shay to serve. Interesting start to the match, Brad.
Well, incredible start for Dardis Shay, and Cooper Hanisch look out of sorts right now. They need a good return game with just cut down the errors. But like anything else, you see one or two flips in play, like they make a couple of returns.
Love
I think they'll be
15.
right back in it.
And there was another example. Dardis overhead gets driven by Cooper. The more they find Dardis in the overhead, the more effective they're going to be.
That'll work.
But Cooper's not hitting the ball particularly cleanly early, is she?
Not at all. There's that cross-court lob in between them, creating a bit of confusion for Cooper and Hanisch. That's going to be huge down the road.
15 all.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to take a look at a still. But you want to see Hanisch come a little further over so she's almost straddling that center stripe.
Oh, they're just doing such a good job keeping their first volleys low and directed away from the blitzer. Beautifully done.
But there again, you saw the
30,
difference in the
15.
overhead. Dardis hits the overhead. Hanisch rips it. They come up with the volley. Shay finds the overhead. She's able to catch the nick.
Yeah, Dardis and Shay are volleying great. They haven't missed a volley yet.
And look, that's what they probably do best as a team. They're a tremendous volleying team.
Called long.
Confirmed
Confirmed.
30 all.
by chair umpire Koch.
30 all.
Big moment in the set right here, Brad.
Yeah, Cooper Hanisch just need to get a game. You know, get something under their belt that works
30,
well.
40.
We all know from there things feed forward.
Back-to-back faults from Shay.
That's surprising. Oh, wow. Great rip. I do not feel Cooper's feeling
Deuce.
the whatever that mojo is right now, Mark, or whatever you think, the confidence. She's finding her way and finding her rhythm. It's the potential rust, I think, that we talked about.
Yep, and that ball was not hit cleanly at all.
Didn't even look like a confident swing.
There you see Shay on the serve, kind of taking a look. Another miss from Cooper. She
Advantage
serves, she
Shay.
kind of looks to see how the serve is and then follows it in or stays back.
Yeah, this is great to see. It's interesting because we didn't see Cooper played well yesterday from what we saw, but there was nothing pressing her yesterday. Now she can't find her rhythm and she can't find her shot yet.
There's that drop shot you talked about, Brad. Yeah, you know, you and I had this
Game,
conversation
Dardis, and
last
Shay.
night off air.
They lead the first
You know,
set,
one team
4
doesn't play
love.
well and the other team doesn't play poorly in a vacuum. How you play, the questions you ask your opponent, the pressure you put on your opponent impact how they play.
Sure.
And I didn't feel like anybody really asked Cooper any difficult questions
Well, they
yesterday.
fed her high balls so she hit down and then she blitzed and finished. Right now, Dardis and Shay, when they're taking a chance, they volley it back well. They put it back. They're putting pressure on the drive. There's the confusion in the middle again. They're going to have to work that out.
Again, Hanisch is
Perfect.
too far over. Now I like where positioning, where she's straddling that center stripe. But you
Well,
can
the
see
issue
all
they're
the movement.
having is Cooper keeps moving over thinking she's taking the overhead right now.
And that's the danger of playing Cynthia Dardis.
All right, she'll keep putting that overhead right in that middle spot between them.
Missed that one.
Love 15.
Yeah, it's very hard to play the deuce player with two righties, isn't it, Brad?
Well, it's tricky, and it's a dangerous ball. Believe it or not, you think, well, you're worried about the forehand, and Dardis does have a good forehand. She really won't do anything with her backhand. Once in a while, she'll bunt it low. But the cross-court lob that comes out of that corner that moves the net team often to the right for righty is a very difficult play. It's hard to get back into position. So it sort of works like a slow drip of water torture, kind of. Until you get out of position, you miss the ball.
And Dardis is such a great example of someone who knows what she does well and doesn't
That's
try to do
beautiful.
more than she does.
Love 30.
Now there you saw Hanisch try to speed up the play, try to make things move faster. Dardis easily moves up the line, sees it coming, and hits the winning drive off the top of the net. Say Cooper Hanisch just searching right now.
We talked about it a couple times yesterday, but you really just want to see them get their feet under them. They don't need to come back and win this set, but I think it's important they start playing better, obviously.
Love 40.
Because right now they're not winning a lot of points.
Love 40.
Last game there were a couple of Shay faults, but
Oh no, they had game points there, and then 2-3 Cooper misses on the forehand. We saw this yesterday a bit too, Mark. We see it all the time. We had yesterday Sikora and Morgan lose 6-2 easily, not playing well, to Barrett and Anika. Then all of a sudden they win 6-2, 6-1.
great forehand from Hanisch.
That was great.
And
Love
just
the
love her attitude in
The
the court.
smiles, you're right.
They're struggling. Partner can't find the center of the paddle, which I know a lot about because most of my partners have that problem. And she's still got a big smile on her face.
The only difference is your partners are never smiling, Mark.
That's a good point, Brett. Finds the nick there, takes us back to 30-40.
This would be a huge comeback from Love 40. Like I said, they just need one good thing to happen. No.
There's the fault.
Game,
and
Dardis and Shay. They lead the first set, 5-love.
Here's the hard overhead from Hanisch.
Hard overhead
She's
with
just
the-
too deep in the court.
It's a drive off the net. Beautiful shot.
But there you saw Hanisch try the hard overhead from behind the service line. And here's her winning forehand. Catches Dardis and Shay in transition.
But if we started this, Mark, and I told you that Dardis and Shay were going to be up 5-love,
Certainly wouldn't have predicted it,
sure.
but as we've talked about numerous times, they're never a team to be underestimated.
They're playing great, volleying great, keeping the pressure. They're giving very little to Hanisch and Cooper, which a lot of people gave them things yesterday that we saw. And right now, Cooper and Hanisch can't develop their own points. They're not playing well enough.
I don't think we've seen one Cooper backhand off the deck on one of the down-up overheads.
Well, they're not giving her the down-up overhead.
That's
And
exactly what we talked about.
every return she's tried to make, or every forehand she's tried to hit, she's really, quite frankly, missed so far. So she's going to have to tighten it up.
Here, Dardis and Shay are mismatched. Dardis in the backhand in the middle. She gets
Missed
away with
again.
that overhead, but that's the ball you
15
expect to see
love.
Cooper make.
Again, perfect volley from Dardis. Redirecting it away from the blitzer. Keeping it low. Wow.
30, love.
2 points from the set. 10-minute warm-up. We'll have to get a confirmation from Kelly Diesel, but I think we're about 20 minutes in.
You're talking about 20 minutes for the set or 20 minutes for
20
the
minutes
warm-up
for the set.
and the set?
No, 20 minutes for the set. Fault from Dardis.
30-15.
What I love, like you said before, though, about Cooper and Hanisch, they keep smiling. They're gonna. I think they assume it's just gonna get better. Like they're gonna find their drives. I can't say that any of the drives they're hitting. That might have been a little too quick.
40-15.
Are
It
that
hasn't been the
bad?
wrong shot.
No, they just can't make any of them.
More Cooper than Hanisch.
More, but Hanisch missed 2 in this game.
Double set point.
But you would think they would go to sort of like, they're trying to, right now what I see is they're hitting their way through it, versus they could slow it down and look for it, but they're not hitting wrong balls. They're just missing all of them.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, assuming they lose this first set.
There's the hard overhead that we talked about, the speed of play.
40-30.
And there she hit it from very close to the net. Much more effective positioning. But I was going to say it'll be interesting to see in the second set, assuming Dardis and Shay win this, the adjustments that Cooper and Hanisch make. Right now they are trying to hit their way out.
The adjustments might be simple, though. And wow, ripped that one and caught Amy
Deuce.
Shay right off the right hip and a little high. That was a great spot on that drive. It may be that they just start making the shots. Cooper's taken 3 or 4 good drives. She just hit them both long. They would have been great shots that transitioned through. They just missed them. Maybe it's starting right now.
But there's a great example
Nope.
of Dardis and Shay making him hit one more volley. I mean, that was a
Advantage,
winning
Cooper
volley
Hanisch.
for Cooper yesterday. She wins the point, but they managed to keep it going longer.
This is great, though. Now we're seeing the high-quality drives that we were missing before. We'll see if it continues. She's literally missed that specific ball about 5 times. She's moving forward already, trying to dip it down. Dardis isn't even coming in,
Nope.
just missing it.
Great forehand from
Advantage,
Hanisch.
Cooper
I think that's
Hanisch.
the first volley I've seen Dardis miss, though. And it's funny, though, the pressure's ramping up a little right now from Cooper and Hanisch. They're playing a little better, making a few more shots. There it is. She made that one. Great ball.
Great ball from Hanisch.
Yeah.
You're right.
Great read again. Cooper.
Terrific lobbing.
See, watch her overhead. It'll land low. It will now bounce up. It'll usually go behind the service line.
Now they have Dardis in the head court at the net, so she's hitting all the overheads.
There's the one. Missed
Oh,
it.
She missed it. That's
Deuce.
her ball. And that's the one we talked about. She hadn't had a swing at the whole set. Yeah, sometimes it's not a matter of strategy. It's just a matter of finding the center of the paddle.
Right.
And that's clearly where it is for Cooper right now. All the balls she swung at have been the right balls.
That's out.
Advantage, Cooper Hanisch.
It's funny, the scoreboard doesn't reflect the closeness of the match, but the game, there seems to be tension involved with the game, doesn't there?
Well, right now, this is a tense moment. They need to close this set out. If Cooper and Hanisch get their rhythm and start making shots, I could see this coming back to a, 7-5, 6. I could see them rattling off 4 or 5 games in a row,
Cooper
too.
Hanisch. Set
And there they
score
rattled off
is
one.
Dardis and
The only
Shay 5.
problem with that
Is
is
Cooper
it's
serving
One
right
and a
Cooper's
now?
serving.
ball.
Okay.
New ball.
a great concept, so
You
Right.
can just put that one out, the other one out. That'd be great. Thanks.
But
it's
that's the
interesting because when Cooper was warming up, she was practicing her normal serve, and now you see her going to something completely different, which is a great lesson for the league players out there. When you warm up, you got to warm up what it is you're going to do in the match.
Well, she just needs some confidence. In that first serve, this is only her second service game, but she was almost looking afraid to get it just in. She's taking one here, and she's just trying to push it in the box. And she'll stay back afterwards because it's taking almost all the energy just to hit the serve. Sort of reminds me almost of the baseball
15
analogy.
left.
Chuck Knobloch for the Yankees couldn't throw the ball from second base to first
Yeah.
base anymore. And he was a great baseball player. But all of a sudden he lost the ability to throw it 30 feet.
I think if they
30
hold here,
left.
Brad, they got a decent chance to win the set.
Like I
seems
said, I
kinda
think they
crazy.
can rattle off 4 or 5 games in a row. It sounds crazy, but it's not at all. They were just missing every shot they had before if they start making them. And flip side of that is, when you are getting all the errors on the other side, Dardis and Shay were getting all those free errors. you haven't had to win as many points. Now you got to start winning them. And when they stop giving them to you, it's a lot harder.
So rude when they stop giving them to you.
I try not to play with those people, which is basically why I don't play at all now, Mark.
Is that why you're always asking me to play, Brad?
I like this now, right? You're seeing at this point like a huge battle. Dardis and Shay pushing. Ball deep. Trying to get Hanisch and Cooper to hit the wrong drive, make the error. Sneaky blitz.
This is a well-constructed point from Cooper and Hanisch.
But it's also, I think both teams recognize this as a really tense moment. Even though it's still 5-1, it's a hugely tense moment. What a play with confidence. I love that shot.
Chance for hold of a serve for Cooper.
Huge. Oh, wow.
Game.
Shay hit 2 balls at Hanisch
Dardis
there. I think she thought she was poaching.
Brad, make a note of that. 9:39, Cooper held serve.
There you go. And that is going to be one of the keys to winning for them. But that was a great little quick turnaround. They're starting to play a little better. Then you feel Shay and Dardis start to feel that pressure. Uline. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
Okay, here we go. Amy Shay to serve.
It's going to sound a little strange, but this feels like a really big game. If they don't close this out, Dardis and Shay, like we said before, I think they could easily find themselves, losing this set 7-5 or up. There we go.
But again, that was such a non-committed forehand from Cooper.
The problem for Cooper and Hanisch right now is there's no breathing room. You still can't find your way here. You got to just play well now. And those are not 2 great forehands yet. She's going to have to find that shot.
Kelly Diesel gives us the home run signal there.
Birdie love.
Miguel Cobbs is impressive at those. He gets great distance on his miss hits. I think he still holds the record at Crest Hollow. But this is not the game that Cooper Hanisch were looking for.
Well, they wanted to build on what they got going. But the fact that they already started something is good going into the sets. This is a 2 out of 3 set match, so. And they recognize that.
30-15.
Missed there. See if some pressure comes on the Shay serve. She faulted twice last game.
I'm more interested in the Cooper just still finding that center of the paddle, starting to hit confident forehands, because the Cooper backhand, you would say it's the better shot anyway, right, Mark?
Yep.
But Cooper does have a good forehand. She needs it, but they're just not giving Cooper the backhand. So she's going to have to find that forehand if they want to win this match.
That was the right ball to hit, but just
40-15.
wasn't really committed to it, and that takes us to set points 3 and potentially 4.
2 set points.
Yeah, when you're down, you just want to make your opponents earn everything.
Right, and this is 3 missed drives from
40-15.
2 from Cooper, 1 from Hanisch.
They just gave away a bunch of points here.
They're just still trying to find their shots. Wow, what great hands from Dardis.
40-30.
Boy, if Cooper and Hanisch can save this one, things are really going to start getting tight, Brad.
Either way, I think Cooper and Hanisch, I mean, look, they're just going to have to play better. But I think they feel good about finding something, a way to at least make this a set to some degree. Definitely wasn't confident going for that, just putting it in play.
Now, Brad, how would you change your strategy based on Cooper's struggles on the forehand side? Would you be baiting her?
Maybe. There's a danger to that, though, because it gives her balls. If she starts to find it, then she finds it. I think
Dardis and
they're
Shay.
doing great, Dardis
Dardis and
Shay.
Shay. They win the first set.
They're giving
6-2.
Cooper no high backhands.
All right, it's going to be
And
2 minutes.
Cooper and, Hanisch, they just have to find their shots, Cooper especially.
Okay, we'll be right back with the second set of the women's final after these messages right here on the APT Network, sponsored by eNet Live.
When people think of Roto-Rooter, they typically think plumbing and water cleanup. They wouldn't be wrong, but there's also more to the picture. We do a little of this, we do a little of that. We clean things up and we check things out. Yeah, we may do both, but we also do a whole lot more. Roto-Rooter, yeah, we do that too.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. Since 1990, the Solheim Cup has elevated women's golf. Team USA challenges Team Europe, upholding the traditions of sportsmanship and teamwork. As the women's game grows, the Solheim Cup will continue to shape its future. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
You can't put wings on a car. You can't see an accident coming. Or walk away from one like this. You can't make a car talk.
How can I help you?
You can't fight gravity. And you can't make one of the world's best SUVs even better. Go on, tell us what else you can't do. The all-new GLS.
Are you ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Okay, welcome back to the Midwesterns, the third stop on the APTA Grand Prix Tour. We just finished set number 1 between Dardis and Shay, Cooper and Hanisch. Set went to Dardis and Shay. Brad, do you think it's adjustments, physical, mental? What do Cooper and Hanisch have to do to get back in this thing?
Cooper and Hanisch, I think, did themselves a service. They were down 5-love before they won their first game. Then they won 2 games in a row. And at one time, you and I were talking about this could go the other way. Cooper and Hanisch could take this. So I think they've done enough to get themselves at least knowing they're in the match and playing. But quite frankly, they're just going to need to play better. I mean, let's say, Dardis and Shay, we were talking about this off air just briefly, won 28 points to win that set. 12 or 13 of them might have just been Cooper forehand misses.
Yeah.
She's going to have to find that shot because this is what we say about Dardis and Shay. They're smart. How many high backhands did they bounce down into Cooper?
1 maybe?
1, 2, and she missed those 2. But she's not going to find that shot. She's got to get her forehand going and get her serve going.
Well, this is what we talked about in our Viking Keys to Winning, was she's not match tough. This is her first tournament of the year. She's been out almost 10 months with a bad elbow. And you don't walk into these things and all of a sudden play great. Being match tough is something that you earn.
It's even a little more, Mark, in the sense of because we thought she played pretty well yesterday. But it's like you said before, Dardis and Shay are giving her a little less of the certain shots that allow her to feel more comfortable and get into the rhythm. They're volleying a little better. They're volleying away from the blitzes even when they make their shots. But, you know, I still absolutely would not count out Cooper and Hanisch by any means here. They just need to start playing better.
What are your thoughts in terms of any changes they have to make other than to start hitting the ball a little more cleanly?
I think we talked about this a little yesterday. Cooper and Hanisch, we do feel like have sometimes a plan B and a plan C, but we did not see that at all today. You know, we just saw them try to hit their way through and get a little better. So in this set, if they don't find it, they're going to have to find a way to get into this match differently.
Do you think we'll see the I formation that they were so successful with last year?
I think we'll probably see that. We might see, you know, Hanisch doing some more of that work, but the I formation is incumbent. You know, it works for them when Cooper's hitting the drives and Hanisch is at the net. And if Cooper's not hitting the drives, that won't work either.
Okay, Floor Hanisch to serve, Cynthia Dardis to start set number 2.
There you go, trying to speed up play right away.
But again, you just can't
Love
hit that hard
15.
overhead from that far off the net. Ball has to travel too far.
Great job from Dardis. You know, just out.
15 all.
Well, I think Hanisch has got one of the best serves in the game.
She hits it with confidence, pace.
Little spin. I think it's really important for Cooper and Hanisch to get off to a good start.
Yes, I agree with you, especially on their return games too, though.
15-30.
Got to start returning better.
Cooper completely missed that volley. Well, you
Yep.
expect her to make.
Yeah, it was just a probing drive from Shay. It wasn't really a.
Yeah.
I mean, Shay's probably surprised she missed it too. This is that cross-court lob. Figure out right here. They had some issues with that. Oh, good dig. Shay's gonna get there. Good hands, but not a smart play that time
30
from
all.
Dardis. She knows it. She put that off-pace drive while she was out of position, and that started the whole series of
30 all.
Dardis and Shay running around trying to scramble.
And Hanisch took advantage of it.
Yep. Hit the volley behind her, then the dink.
30 all.
We've seen very little of that Dardis forehand return. Tend to lob and slow the pace of play down.
You know, I think she's recognizing that the risk-reward of going for the big drive, she'll hit it from time to time, but right now, she wants them to keep playing. Great drive there from Amy Shay. And watch this, she's going to keep hitting that long low to the forehand.
Well, that's
I
a
think
ball
they're
that
baiting
Cooper
her.
would've
I
pulled
think
the
they're baiting
trigger
her.
on. Yeah.
I think they're baiting her. They got that one after another right to the Cooper forehand. Now that's just a miss and a confusion
40,
spot
30.
there for somehow Amy Shay did not expect Cynthia Dardis to switch and sneak under there. That was a good break there for Cooper and Hanisch. Oh.
Who do you think's winning the match, Brad?
Game Cooper Hanisch. They
Well,
lead
right
the first
now-
set.
Right now, Brad.
1-0.
At this moment, I'll still say Dardis and Shay are winning the match.
Here's a replay.
For sure, yeah, that's the off-pace drive that gets them out of position.
Yeah, my money's still on Cooper and Hanisch.
Oh, if you asked me to take, the bet that Dardis and Shay are winning this, I wouldn't take that bet. I would still have the money that Cooper and Hanisch, because they had enough opportunities or looks. I mean,
So let me ask you a question. When I asked you who do you think's winning this match, and you said Dardis and Shay,
well,
what exactly
just
did you
because
mean?
they're factually winning this match right now.
I think he's going to win the match. Not
Oh
who's
well,
ahead.
that's a different question.
I could read the scoreboard and determine
It's
who
a
was
different
ahead.
question.
But I do appreciate your help with that.
Hey, look, if you cannot phrase your questions properly, do not, turn it back on me. Oh, great. They do such a good job of redirecting those volleys away from the blitzer.
They're clearly looking for Cooper right now.
Oh, yeah. There she goes. One side to the court to the other. They're going to find her. And they're going right to that forehand, one after another. But what I love now is Cooper's actually decided to downshift into, I'm going to make 1,000 lobs and then take a ball, which I loved. Nicely done, but great volley there.
Birdie love.
Cooper does not get the blitz, but at least she's playing the point.
You can see the different adjustments each team is making as the play evolves.
And what's interesting now, it's an interesting time for Floor Hanisch in a sense, because they're just, she's not seeing any balls. So she's just got to hang in there, not get caught up, keep playing whatever she can do. There's nothing she can do about this to stop the ball, but Cooper could. They've switched 3 times now, and they're still finding, the Cooper forehand, but that time she comes up with the goods.
30-15.
She's such a great competitor.
Yep.
That was a really well-placed forehand. Just under the right shoulder of Dardis. She's unable to make the volley.
But there are ways they could start to adjust their lobbing a little. Nice. Here comes Hanisch.
She's such a good athlete. Hanisch covers the court so well.
Go.
And she finds the nick, and Hanisch isn't trailing behind her.
40-15.
Yeah, got to call those out. I think Morgan might be the best at that in the game, Allison Morgan, trailing behind and looking for those balls into the crease.
Okay, in our 5th place match, first set, Anika Barrett against Gio and Nuslock.
Oh, what touch there
Game
from
Dardis and
Dardis.
Shay. Second set score is 1-1.
So you see Cooper trying to go forward more, worry less about the ground strokes, the forehand, and see if she can get some volley exchanges. But incredible touch there from Dardis, dinking it back at her feet from her shoelaces. Impressive.
Okay, big service game here for Cooper.
She held last time.
It was a very generous game from Dardis and Shay.
Yeah. Oh, so good. There we go.
Seeing Cooper play last game she was deep in the court. This game she's much shorter in the court, which is her style.
Great playing.
Love 15.
Did
But
everything
it's-
right this year and then just dumped that point and then just dumped the volley.
Yeah, I mean, she's putting a lot of pressure on herself to make something happen, and it wasn't the easiest volley. I wouldn't say that was a gimme.
No, it wasn't a gimme, but that's her game, and she's so good at it. I expected her to make it.
Yeah, but you probably would have said you've expected her to make 12 other forehands, too, that she's missed today.
15
sometimes
all.
that's the way it goes.
Another forehand miss from Amy Shay on a weak serve. I mean, this is where they really need to punish her. They cannot be giving away these points.
They cannot you got to keep them down, basically. You can't
Foot
give
on their
'em-
throat.
Right, you can't let them get up and get off the mat. You got to keep them down. They are doing a great job continuing to find the Cooper forehand and keeping the pressure on. and saying, hey, listen, you're not feeling it, we're going to make you hit it 1,000 times.
I'm not sure why Dardis lobbed that return of serve.
That's a
There's
rip right
big-
there.
yep, that's her big forehand.
15,
Yeah, but it's set up
30.
because there's confusion on who's getting the overhead there. You see both of them, both Cooper and Hanisch went back for that overhead. Then all of a sudden, Cooper's like, oh, Hanisch has it. She raises back in, but she's running right back into a giant forehand from Dardis, and she's not set and controlled. I think it's all the rust, more time on the court. That's what you see Shay try to do. Just missed it,
30 all.
but she's been great with that volley, keeping it away from Hanisch.
And there's a little bit of the one up, one back. Well, Hanisch is at the net, and she does such a great job cutting things off up there. You see, she can't do that.
40,
You got your
30.
partner standing at the service line. Can't risk that.
Well, it's a play that Dardis and Shay do, and it clearly wasn't executed. She can get the return down. Not sure it's a great play against Hanisch at the net, though.
She's too athletic and moves too well to do that. Big point right here.
That's a good help call there from Hanisch. You know what? It's interesting. We've only seen pretty much the one ball at the crease today. And the reason why is you're just seeing them baiting the ball down to Cooper's forehand in the middle. They're not even trying to hit at the crease. They're just going to say, go ahead, Cooper, keep hitting that forehand.
Well, there they got away with the overhead to the Hanisch crease. Almost
Yeah.
paid for it.
But they're hitting so few of them, it's almost hard for Hanisch to be ready. Great move, though. Gets the fast overhead. Well done.
And there the Hanisch
Game,
blitz
Cooper
created
Hanisch.
the point.
Yeah,
Second
it forced
set score
the
is
hard
Cooper Hanisch
overhead,
2,
and then the
Dardis
screen
and
drive
Shay
comes
1.
from Cooper.
And we have another hold for Annika Cooper.
It's great. 2 in a row.
Nobody breaks Annika Cooper 27 times in a row.
There you go. I tell you, it is pretty windy out there. Definitely breezy. I don't think I've seen anything that's affected the play, like in terms of conditions, but it's windy out there.
So, Brad, how do you quantify windy versus breezy?
It's a good question. I don't really know.
Well, you use
I
both
think
in that
windy
last
is over
sentence.
20 miles an hour, and breezy is from 5 to 15.
And what's 15 to 20?
15 to 20 is almost windy.
Okay, I'll have to remember that.
Years of meteorology school prior to my commentary career.
Okay, Amy Shay to serve. You can kind of feel the pressure switching sides a little bit. Better play from Cooper Hanisch.
Well, at least she's not just trying to hit her way through stuff now. They're just decided, Cooper's going to lob a lot more balls. She's still taking hits because she
15 left.
has to. She's going to have to take a hit sometime, but it's not every other ball. And this thing is a dogfight right now.
Did Dardis and Shay play any other type of matches?
They don't. They really are the best at just getting down.
They know what they do well, and they stick to it. That's what makes them so tough.
Yeah, but they'll change their tactics. They'll play differently. They'll find different ways to keep plugging away. There you go. That's it. That's with Cooper.
15 all.
A couple more of those will get her confidence going. She struck that forehand. That did not look like a frayed forehand. So you're taking a practice swing in the backcourt there. Still working it out.
Oh, what a volley from
I'm
Dardis.
telling you, Dardis has hit a dozen of those.
Whoa. See Shay kind of stick her paddle out for that ball?
Yep.
15.
And then she stuck her paddle out there and sort of slapped that one wide.
Yeah, I think the match is shifting, Brad.
Oh, I think it started to shift when Cooper and
Last two
Hanisch got
games.
those 2 games
Yep.
in the first set. I mean, that's when it was shifted. But, you know, Dardis and Shay, they're still winning, Mark, as I pointed out.
Thank you, Brad.
There you go.
There was some confusion there.
That's a well-spotted drive.
Oh,
Shay-
great lob.
40.
And Shay decided to move to the center to try and pick one off. But we have a prediction from Kelly Diesel here that
Predict it's going to rain?
Cooper and Hanisch are going to win 6-4 in the third.
Okay. Kelly watched a lot of paddle. Oh, Hanisch has a great blitz.
30, 40.
Shay doesn't let her know. And Hanisch can just not quite reach that ball.
Right, but again, just a slightly out of her reach. But in that case, I don't think she redirected away from her. I think she just got a little lucky. It was out of her zone.
Yep, I agree with that.
That's a good call for the help again from Hanisch.
But she's looking
Nice.
for that nick. Here it comes.
It's getting better, the Cooper forehand. It's getting better.
Did have nowhere to go but up.
It's true.
Oh, that ball barely is in.
Hanisch. There we go.
Hanisch lobbing really well.
I think she's trying to give her partner a chance to continue to get better. She's actually not going for a lot, but just playing super solid.
Well, why don't you talk about that a little bit, Brad? I mean, I'm sure maybe once in your career you had a match where you weren't hitting the ball cleanly. What did you try and do?
I mean, usually what you try to do is minimize and anticipate shots better, and you can do that by lobbing to certain places on the court. So if you hit it at certain places, you should know about where the next ball is going to come. And then you take those 1 or 2 specific shots. So you take so many other things out of play, and you concentrate on those 1 or 2 things, and it just makes everything that much easier. It gives you a better chance to find your shots.
And there we have the break. You can see they're really hurting them with that deep lob down the middle.
Right. And in the first set, all they did was hit drives and miss. And now they're constructing points and allowing themselves to look for specific drives rather than taking all the drives.
Okay, 3-1, Cooper and Hanisch. It's getting either breezier or windier, Brad.
I think it's actually just windy.
Okay, let's see what Dardis and Shay can do to combat this.
That's out. And again, a little
Love
confusion.
15.
Cooper moving back, Hanisch moving back.
Really good lob there from Shay.
Great lob. Oh,
Love 30.
what a rip.
And all of a sudden, Hanisch
Love
took something off the
40.
serve and stayed back. She's been serving so effectively with the hard serve.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that last fault affected her, but Dardis just hammered that return. Oh,
Great
the
lob
lobs
there
just
from
killing
Shay.
them. That's great. Wow, what a play there from Hanisch. Circles back for the deep
15-40.
overhead, stays back, then takes it off the deck. Beautifully done.
And that's the type of play that Cooper Hanisch liked, that transition play, faster game. That's not Dardis and Shay's style.
Right, we talked about that. They're one of the best for sure in the country transitionally, Cooper and Hanisch. That is definitely not the Dardis Shay game.
And there you saw Hanisch hit an overhead with both feet on Cooper's side of the court.
Oh,
Great example of how you
great
have to
get.
slide.
Great lob. Oh! She was way late on that.
30-40.
I think she was thinking about where to hit it, and by the time she got around to hitting it, the moment had passed. She was so late.
Almost a dagger hit it off the top of her paddle.
That was big because that was a good look there for Dardis.
Great setup, great deep lob, had the forehand she wanted.
But the great thing that Cooper and Hanisch did is they bailed off the net anyway. I mean, even if she makes it, the point's not over. Oh, smart little shot to keep Shay moving. No, she swing
Game,
volleys.
Dardis and Shay.
And a point they're constructing
Second
reasonably
set
well.
score is Cooper Hanisch 3, Dardis Shay 2. And it's time for a new ball.
Well, you just really felt like Cooper and Hanisch were getting their arms around the set, and then they just play a very spotty game.
Yeah, that was big.
You can just
Fusion Sports. Fusion Sports is your source for high-end custom apparel. Fusion offers pro shop management, tournament favors, corporate branded gear, and youth sports. Fusion is an official supplier of apparel and the exclusive provider of tournament favors to the APTA. Yeah, a couple of miscues in that game there for Cooper Hanisch. But that was a great little turnaround for Dardis and Shay. It's 3-2. Or 2 serving 3, actually. Cynthia Dardis serving.
These next 2 games are going to go a long way to determining who wins this set and obviously the match and the tournament.
Sure. Again, Dardis, great first volleys away from the blitzer and not popping it up either. That's a
great backhand.
heck of a shot. Heck of a shot from Hanisch.
15.
You know, Hanisch has almost been, you know, her name hasn't really popped up, but she's played solid.
She almost always plays solid. She's played a lot of paddle this year. Won a couple of tournaments.
15-0.
She and Anika won the Long Island tournament. Now, you like that last blitz from Cooper? Whoa. That serve was wide by about 4 boards.
15-30.
You know, I'm trying to remember the ball she did it on. Blitzing is a part of her game, so she's got to do it, but I'm not sure on that one.
They've also been so effective from the backcourt with the lobs. There you go. There's a great blitz.
There we go. Well, you can feel Cooper and Hanisch
15-40.
starting to feel the ball a little bit more. Yeah, if they break right back here, that's huge. No. She's a little pulling her paddle back. She's not
30-40.
keeping in front of her. She did when they lost that last game. Just got to keep that out there. She had that one.
It's 2 blitzes she's missed this game, both of which were shots you kind of expect her to make.
There's a ball at her feet again. Well done.
Great bail from Dardis.
Yep. Well, both these teams are really smart about knowing when
But
to
she
leave.
missed
She
that
just
one.
missed the basic
Yes.
overhead. I mean, they're doing so many things right, but the error is still creeping in.
Boy, Brad, the team in the backcourt is winning a huge percentage of the points,
It is 65 degrees out.
but not in the manner you'd expect, right? The warm weather, it's tough to volley. Here, you've seen the lob so effective, pushing people back, missed overheads.
Yep. Oh. I think Dardis thought that ball was coming harder.
Yeah,
she
she had
gave
nothing
her
on
like
it.
the super slow ball, and she jumped at it. It must have completely just kind of flummoxed her.
Another game point. These are the points that mean the most. You've got to close these games out when you have opportunities.
Yep. Oh,
Game
good play.
for
Dardis
Hanisch.
feeling the pressure on that
They
forehand.
lead the second set 4-2.
Decision wasn't bad. Execution was. No
Yeah.
commitment.
It's a little unnerving. You got Cooper moving forward. She had a pretty easy return, but Dardis knows she has to hit it low and solid, otherwise Cooper's going to pick it off.
Okay, Cooper to serve, 4-2, second set.
2 holds in a row for Cooper.
She fires another serve in.
Well done from Hanisch.
15-love.
And there's Hanisch just dominating the net.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. I mean, how much do you think Hanisch helps Cooper hold serve when she's holding?
Well, which is more important, the server or the person at the net?
In this case, I think it's Hanisch because clearly the serve. Well, Cooper's great at taking the ball in the backcourt and driving it back when you hit the return, and it allows Hanisch to stay there. But yeah, Hanisch's ability, and it's a real teamwork thing. But there you see Hanisch just blanketing the net, taking 2 balls in a row. Here's the 1-up, 1 back with Cooper now coming in. I like that. Great lob. Smart there from Cooper to get out of the way. That'll work.
Great exchange.
15-all.
Awesome job there by Amy Shay.
Great point all the way around.
Well,
Brad,
Hanisch in the
we'd
middle
be
there.
remiss if we
Go
didn't
ahead.
congratulate Amin Kadare, the APTA's new CEO. This is his first event as CEO, and we're going to be hearing from Amin a little bit later on.
Terrific. Congratulations.
Boy, that's a ball that Amy Shea usually eats up.
30-15.
It's amazing how much easier it is to hold serve when you get the ball in the box.
She hasn't tried an underhand serve today. She's committed to just pushing the overhand.
Well, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. There's not a lot of value in the net in the warm days. So there's no pressure to get your serve in deep, to avoid the hard drive. She's just lobbing the ball in the box and staying back.
They got to do a
Again, Hanisch
little.
doesn't
They're
trail.
doing a little better job, but they
30-all.
have to continue to call out those creases. And the ball's in the nick.
That ball should not beat them.
At the highest level you should be getting, the only ball you really shouldn't get is the one that screams up the wire and doesn't come off.
The Parsons nick.
Again, just great volleying from Hanisch. Ooh, love it. I love how they're playing this. That's so well done transitionally from Cooper and Hanisch.
There's a good forehand from Cooper.
It's come back.
And it goes away.
And it went away.
30.
You spoke too soon, Brad. You cursed her.
I did. No, she's hitting the forehand more there. What I've loved about what she's doing now is she's been very judicious with it too. You know, in hitting certain balls. I think she rushed that one for sure. Oh,
You okay?
yeah. Oh,
Game,
wow.
Dardis and Shay.
That game
Second
had
set
promise.
score.
Yeah, they were
Cooper,
ahead in the
Hanisch
game. Looked
4,
like they
Dardis and Shay
were going to
3.
hold and then just made a bunch of errors.
Yep.
So what do you think, Brad?
I mean, I think we're in it. We're in the trenches. It's a battle.
And how do you
know,
see these next couple of games unfolding?
Just like this, a little back and forth. I mean, at any time, if somebody can just, is there anyone who's just, you know, not missing balls? Everybody's missing a little here and there. I guess you could say Hanisch missing the least, right?
Yeah.
But she's also getting the least looks, right? So stands to reason. So it's whoever seems to find it. I mean, Cooper and Hanisch have found a footing. They're in this match. You know, they're still up here in the second set, and they found it at the end of the first set. But I think it's just going to be a trench battle. Nobody's feeling the confidence right now to just tee something up, go for a shot. So they're just going to battle it back and forth, and it's almost a test of wills, I think.
I think that's a great analogy, Brad. I think it is a test of wills, and that's essentially what a match like this comes down to. Who's going to dig in more? Who's going to play a more disciplined style?
I think there's that, plus it's just a question of who's going to execute those one or two shots, you know, in crucial
15.
moment.
Great forehand there from Hanisch, opens the game.
Awesome shot. Watch that. There you go. Well played that time.
And by well played, Brad, you mean exactly what?
They called out the ball that's going at the crease, and
15
Hanisch moved up the
all.
line. Cooper moved to the middle, and they played it as a shot out to the center. Tough blitz there from Cooper.
Yeah, I'd like to see her doing a little less blitzing right now. They've been so effective with their lobs.
Lobbing.
And I think that's such a big component of the game is recognizing where you're winning your points.
Great serve there from Shay. Now she's back to baiting Cooper a little, but we've seen that sort of go away now as Cooper's level has increased a little bit. There it is, the high backhand.
Overhead.
15-30.
Yep, and there you saw Dardis hitting all the overheads again, and they pay for it.
Well, as soon as she went to the down up versus the push to the middle.
Okay, you see Dardis giving signals to Shay. I think it was a serve tee, I'm going to stay. Yep.
Wow. Got
Again.
the miss. High and
Back
tight
hand.
there. A little
40.
chin music. Great drive.
Cooper's
You
really
see Cooper
finding
in
a
the
footing.
back at the top of the screen, keeping herself going. She's pounding her thigh with her fist. She's just keeping her energy going. Taking some practice swings. What a serve.
Great read from Hanisch. Oh, that was her shot, but again,
30-40.
didn't really commit to it, didn't really go after it.
Not feeling it. You know, the timing's right. And she hits that shot specifically. She's not one of these players who sets up, hits it, and then moves. She starts moving, hits the shot on the move, and is trying to follow in behind it. So the timing has to be perfect.
Very unconventional.
Well, it's a specific shot designed for blitzes, right? What a lob from that position.
Huge point right here, Brad.
Yeah, you watch Hanisch, Cooper at her forehand, and she doesn't hit it hard.
Great
That
drop
was
shot.
a great drop.
Game Cooper Hanisch. They lead the second set 5-3.
Not a lot of holds the last 20 minutes.
Not at all. Like you'll see yesterday, like Wendy Spiz, she hits that forehand hard. You know, it's designed to overpower you. Cooper's forehand isn't designed to overpower you. It's designed to get low so she can move forward. That's all it is. It's not like a killer, but the pressure of the forward movement is where the real damage gets done. No, just missed it.
15-love.
You know, you're probably seeing
No.
the two best,
30-love.
not in terms of quality, but in terms of the four women, the two women that play the best together. These are probably the best on the tour, these two teams.
Right.
We're going to get to see the opposite of that maybe later today with Araya Banchila, who tend to play as individuals. Some have argued they shouldn't be called a team, just two people on the court at the same time.
Two individuals on the same side. Two very talented individuals with incredible shots on the same
40
side.
love.
So
But,
three in a row. It takes us to triple set point for Cooper Hanisch.
Got Kelly Diesel here pointing to his 6-4 in the third prediction for Cooper Hanisch. He's all in. What a shot there from Amy Shay.
40-15.
Haven't seen a lot of that from Amy.
There hasn't been much, but what I was about to say is you'll see that from Amy when the chips are down and you think something's not going right. She'll just pull out a couple of amazing shots in a row as if she had no idea things weren't going right. The score was what it was.
She spots that forehand better than anybody on the tour.
Oh, that's a great shot. Perfectly set up. Now, if I were Dardis and Shay, I would make Cooper hit one of those forehands right now at this crucial moment in the backcourt.
Don't let her beat you with her backhand, which is her
the high
best.
backhand. Good lob. Ooh, thought Hanisch was going to take a strike at that.
They haven't found that slot down the middle. That one's better.
Nice.
Here comes Hanisch.
So good.
Oh.
Oh,
Great transition ball.
that is a
Ugh.
great point from Dardis and Shay.
40-30.
Great point.
2 set points saved.
Every look that Hanisch, I'm surprised Hanisch didn't take a look earlier on that high forehand. I feel like she's kind of put some of her offense in the back pocket a little bit, like just trying to be super solid and give no errors. But that's the perfect point, and they gave Cooper a couple of looks, but none of them were the exact ball, and able to volley him back. It'd be real interesting if it gets the deuce, or if Dardis and Shay can take this game. Wow, another amazing lob.
Both teams have lobbed exceptionally well.
That's going to be too
Game
good.
in second set. Cooper
Hanisch
Hanisch,
Cooper win the
6-3.
second set. 6-3.
Great job.
Brad, any thoughts?
Well, I think we're coming back for a third in a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough question when we come back, right here after these messages on the APTA Network, sponsored by eNet Live.
When people think of Roto-Rooter, they typically just think plumbing and water cleanup. And they wouldn't be wrong, but we do a whole lot more. Roto-Rooter. Yeah, we do that too.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. For Rolex and tennis, the tradition began in 1978 and has grown to include the most iconic majors and tournaments since, supporting the legends, champions, and rising stars committed to the future of the game. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
Welcome back to the women's final of the APTA Grand Prix Tour, the Midwesterns, where we just had our number 1 seeds win the second set. So we split sets here with Dardis and Shay winning the first set 6-2 and Cooper and Hanisch coming back for a 6-3 victory in the second.
And Brad, before we bring in our guest, Heather Propp, I wanted to ask you this difficult question. Who's winning now?
Who's winning now? Now it's tied.
What about with the momentum, Brad?
Momentum is definitely with Cooper and Hanisch.
Okay, Heather, welcome to the booth. Tell us a
Can you
little
hear
bit
me?
about your weekend, running the tournament, playing in the tournament, what you have to do to prepare.
You know, it's a lot of work, but Cincinnati, we love to have the Midwesterns here, especially when it's a Grand Prix. So it's a lot of setup. The weather hasn't been great. We're hoping for, like, the storms to pass us, but
I think they're going to pass through us, actually, Heather.
unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, but we'll make do.
Now, Heather, it looked like your knee was bothering you yesterday. You weren't quite moving like you normally do.
I am 55 now, so my knee is breaking down, but I'm happy that I was able to play. I'm going to have surgery on Wednesday. It's just a little clean out, so I'm hoping to be back.
Hoping to see you at Darien for the Nationals.
It's not really up to me. It's up to my partner, Wendy. She's got a busy life, so we'll see. We're hoping.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's great prognosis to have that surgery and be able to be back for March. That's terrific.
Have you gotten to watch much of the match?
I've watched some of it. My live streaming back in my office a little bit. So
Tell us a little bit of what you've seen, your reactions, any of Brad's commentary you disagree with vociferously.
Well, obviously I've played these girls a lot, and both teams, I mean, especially Cynthia and Amy, they're just relentless. Like, you can never count on winning, even if you win the first set 6-0. And I think just watching the first set, Cynthia and Amy were on, and the other girls were not. But it's when you're a champion, you can find a way to turn it around. And I think that's what Annika and Flora are doing.
Now, you had some success in Chicago. You and Wendy beat Dardis and Shay in Chicago, right?
We did. I think Wendy and I probably played our smartest match. We slowed it down. We were actually boring. We felt like we were boring players.
So that's what was that your thought going into the
Yes.
match, that you're going to slow this down to a crawl? Lob, lob, lob.
Lob, lob.
Then after 20 lobs, take a spot drive.
Right. At the net, just middle to Cynthia's backhand. Middle, just relentlessly doing that. And maybe they weren't on their game, and we just took advantage of that. Yeah. So
That's great. Well, when you do that, you're taking so many things out of play, and you're making the match a totally different type of match. You know, I wouldn't expect Cooper and Hanisch to do that here today. They're probably going to go with what got them here to begin with, and it's usually not the full slow play.
Although they did slow play down dramatically in the second set, lobbed a lot more, fewer blitzes, much more patient, weren't pulling the trigger nearly as quickly.
yeah, I think too, Annika's been out, most of the season, and Hanisch has been playing with other people, which makes a difference when you haven't played with your partner, in a big tournament. I feel like they're fighting over the middle a lot on overheads, and I think that comes with not playing too much with each other during the season.
Yeah, Brad made that exact comment in the first set.
Yeah, well, as it goes forward, do you have a prediction for us in the third set here, Heather?
Wow. Well, both teams are just ferocious. I would have to say that Annika and Flora kind of have the momentum right now, and I think maybe they figured out a few things, so they might pull this out.
Okay. I'm with you, Heather.
Yeah,
I think we're all in agreement there, but we're going to see. I think we're in for a third set battle here for sure, either way.
Big shout out to Shannon Vincent, former APTA Tour Director, who was always great to have around, in charge, and ran the best tournaments. Big shoes for Jackie Cameron to fill. Okay, here we go.
Oh, what a pickup there from Dardis.
Hanisch is just so effective at blitzing off the lob.
She's so tough up at the net.
That Dardis almost got baited into being beaten in transition.
Right on the line. Well done there.
Trailer play you talked about earlier, Brad.
Oh, beautiful overhead. That's a well-played point.
15 love.
Yeah, I think that's what Wendy and I did not do well enough, was we did not hit good overheads in our match yesterday, where Cynthia and Amy have kind of more the offensive overheads instead of a defensive overheads. That's going to make a big difference too.
Another good deep lob from Cooper.
15 all.
Well, that's the biggest change in the match. We went from them, Cooper and Hanisch basically trying to just drive balls and win points, to them setting up points with lobs and looking for the drives. And as a consequence, their errors have dried up, and they've made Dardis and Shay just play a lot more balls, getting them out of position more.
A great exchange at the net. Should report that Barrett and Nika won the 5th place match. Now those are the points Dardis and Shay just don't want to get into. Those fast exchanges at the net. They survived an early one in that point, but not the second one.
Yeah, they've done a good job bailing at the right times for most of the match, but there they got caught in transition. Dardis should have been back.
15-40.
Now we got 2 break points. Heather, how important is it for Dardis and Shay not to get behind, or you think it doesn't matter for them?
I don't think it matters. I think they can play their way out of anything.
Game,
so
Cooper Hanisch.
obviously it helps to
Third
be
set
ahead,
score,
but I don't.
Cooper
That's not a
Hanisch
disadvantage
1,
for them.
Dardis,
I don't
Shay
think.
0.
I think Dardis and Shay are in trouble.
There's clearly been a shift in the max, and since the shift, there hasn't really been an answer. There's been more, from what I've seen, like a searching around for Dardis and Shay as to what we're going to do now, but no answer. They're still battling. They're still not making it easy for them, but it feels like they're waiting for those guys to start playing poorly again.
Well, that's it. You kind of touched on it in the first set, where the first set was really, to me, much more about Cooper and Hanisch losing the set than Dardis and Shay winning it. And then all of a sudden, when your opponents start playing better, you can't expect to get those errors. You got to raise your level too. And I don't know that Dardis and Shay have done that yet.
All right, so Hanisch to serve.
Boy, just a lot of
15
errors.
love.
Yeah, you can't afford any of those right now.
Dardis and Shay have not held serve, I think, in their last 4 or 5 tries.
Oh, that was a quick ball.
30 love.
Whereas in the first set, they were hitting a lot of good lobs, a lot of deep. You saw the confusion at the net. I don't know that they lobbed the ball at that point.
I think they should have lobbed it. They caught him in a shift, moving fast. A quick down the line lob would have put, Hanisch and Cooper way out of position. But the thing that Cooper and Hanisch do so well is when they get out of position, they just go back.
And there you see Hanisch again with both feet in the same side of the court as Cooper. Great shifting. A great volley.
30-15.
Okay, Heather, really want to thank you for joining us. We know it's
Thanks.
a tough weekend for you, and it was great seeing you. We hope to see you in Darien.
Yes, thanks so much.
Take care, Heather. Thank you.
35.
I really think Dardis and Shay have to make a stand now.
Yeah.
They've got to play 3 or 4 just rock solid points.
I agree, and sort of one of the things we were talking about before is when they've lobbed pretty well, they've gotten some confusion out of
30
Cooper and
all.
Hanisch.
And in that case, not even pretty well.
Right, just got an error on an overhead.
But I just think they've just got to get the ball in play. Just be patient, not go for too much right here.
I agree with you, but I'd love to see that ball going over Hanisch's left shoulder.
Yep.
Getting one of those guys to move in and out.
Whoa.
Wow, she
That's-
one-timed that.
That's exactly what you were talking about
30-40.
earlier, Brad.
Ooh.
Just all of a sudden, boom.
Just,
Hanisch was completely unprepared for that
I was
ball.
unprepared. That was unbelievable.
Well, if you were unprepared, what chance did Hanisch have?
That's right, I was a Boy Scout.
Point to get back on serve.
Ah, great play, perfect overhead.
Deuce.
But that's okay. You don't mind losing those
Nope.
points. So much about staying with the correct style, making the right decisions. The law of averages is going to pay off for you. Mark Powers calls it reversion to the mean. lobs there. It's a little better. She's not finding that slot that you talked about, Brad.
Good shift there at the net. Oh!
Advantage,
hold it.
Dardis and Shay.
Couple of missed overheads from Hanisch this
Yep.
game. See if she pays for it.
This is big. There it goes. What a close there by Hanisch.
Great lob.
They're lobbing so well. You see, if you watch.
Another
that's
great
just
lob.
well done. Yeah, if you watch Dardis and Shay, Cooper and Hanisch can't move them around because the lobs are too good.
And they find the nick.
Game, Dardis
and the,
and Shay.
and the
Set
break.
score is
We're
1-all.
back on serve.
That was a great game. And, you know, those two shots that Hanisch tried to play offensively loom large. She tried to hit a kind of a cut overhead low into Shay's corner and a drop shot. And that's the difference in the game, just those couple of misses. All the other points were on balance, well played.
And you saw Dardis and Shay kind of go back to basic paddle there.
Great
Nothing
lobs.
special, lobbing well.
Keeping them off the net. And one of the things, if you lob well, it's hard for the opponents at the net to make you move around.
Yep.
There's no angles to hit the ball. Ball comes off the screen right back to you.
Well, we were talking
It's
yesterday, Brad, that with all the new age paddle
Love
and the
15.
spins and the shots, the answer almost always is the same when you're struggling. Lob better.
You can lob better. It just takes away so many options from your opponents.
See
And
if
oftentimes that's how you get back into a match. You lob better, and like we said before, we were talking about it, and you look for specific balls that are in your strike zone. Oof. Oof. That was an oof and an off.
Love 30.
An oof and an off. That's really
Yeah.
bad.
It was
Wow.
a miss hit and then a miss drop.
And it looks like there's a little bit of precipitation coming down.
That's getting here.
Couple of gifts from Dardis and Shay to start the game.
Oh, well played. Top of the net, right into
Love
Shay.
40.
It's gotten very calm, almost the calm before the storm right now, Brad.
Yep, yeah, you can see the raindrops on the court. I assume they're going to be putting out the heaters on soon, or if not, right away.
Good rip from Hanisch. She misses
15-40.
it.
Serve is wide.
Confirmed.
Game, Cooper Hanisch.
Another break.
Third
Boy, it's
set
been a
score.
long
Cooper
time since
Hanisch
Dardis Shay held.
Dardis, Shay,
Clark
1.
Trophies by Max Lippevere, your #1 destination for all trophies and prizes. Clark Trophies, better quality, faster service. And are you used to them, Brad?
No, I've used them a number of times. They do a great job. They're timely. You send them an email. The email comes right back to you. A lot of options. Terrific service.
What do you think, Brad? First hold wins?
First hold wins. That's a good point. Yeah, I'd say that's very safe. And now it's going to be Cooper's turn.
Yeah, I think we had, a couple of holds from Cooper.
And I think Hanisch and Cooper, Hanisch and Cooper on the verge of holding last time, just threw in a couple of mistakes. Hanisch just missed a couple of balls there.
It's just that recognition in the tight moments of the match that you have to kind of skinny your game down and only do the things you do really well.
Yep.
And that's, to me, what sets the top players apart from the rest of the field.
Well, the top players always have that level that they can always try to get to and continue. So they're giving away so much less overall. Hanisch going for a lot on some of these, but she's won, she's missed. So when you go for it, you're going to take some mistakes. If she makes it, you say great shot. When she doesn't, you go bad error. Crushing that ball down the line.
Snapped off that forehand.
Nope.
Just catches the top of the tape. That's her ball. Good swing. Just doesn't clear the net.
Yeah, that looked like a better swing anyway, with confidence. But it feels like that confidence is still like super shaky. You can go the other way in a heartbeat.
I know a lot about super shaky confidence, Brett.
Well, you look nice today, Mark. Doing a great job. I like you.
Thanks, Brad. I feel better about myself already.
40.
Perfect.
I just think you got to go with the meat and potatoes game right now. And you've seen from Hanisch just a little bit too aggressive a couple of times. Just put the ball in play.
Ooh. That was
Game, Dardis and Shay. Third set score.
I guess if you're going to lose serve, you might as well lose it quickly.
in a big fashion. Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
There you go.
Forehand off the snowboard at love 40.
Or it was one of those, well, this is a really bad game. Let's see what happens from
let's
here.
move on.
Right. There you go. Yeah, that was just it was a donation game for Hanisch and Cooper. They just four misses.
I don't know if we've had a hold since Cooper held it 2-1 in the second set.
I think they held to win out at 6-3. Thought they were up 5-3 and then held out, but I'm not sure. Wow. I tell you what,
15 love.
Cooper and Hanisch levels.
It's dropped.
It's dropping.
And that's something that's part of Dardis and Shay's game. They just have the ability to kind of pull you down.
They just hang and keep playing. There you go, Dardis switching at the net there.
But it is interesting how many different strategies you've seen from Dardis Shay with the overheads. They started out more conventionally, then they went after the Cooper forehand for a while.
Yeah, wisely.
And now they're going back to a different type of overhead. Great lob there from Hanisch.
Wow, right on the line. Perfect lob.
Some lob from Amy Shay to counter it.
No, just missed.
And that's a ball you just got to put in play. Missing
Yeah.
lobs wide at this point of the match.
You know, we've seen sort of the good and the bad with it. You know, the lobbing's been good and won a lot of points, but there's been a number of just missed lobs or missed overheads off routine balls.
That was a ball you'd expect her to put in play 10 times out of 10. There was no pressure, no
Correct.
spin, no pace. She was in position.
Ideally, you'll go a whole match and not miss more than 2-3 lobs, and I don't think anyone on the court can probably say that right now. Wow, that is just perfect roll on that ball.
15-30.
But again, hard overhead into the Cooper backhand. Not the place you want to be. Get cold in here all of a sudden, Brad?
It is a little chilly. I think the door is open, and not sure why here inside.
Another great blitz from Cooper.
15-40.
And they have 2 break points.
See if we see a blitz here. There it is. Oh, see body English from Cynthia Dardis there at the top of your screen. She's willing that ball in.
Successful body.
Successful body English is right.
Clearly would have been wide without it.
Oh, gets
good
her on
look
the
from
stretch.
Hanisch. Good look.
30-40.
See if they can wiggle out of this game.
That'll be huge. Now, before we did talk about the first hold winning the match here, but I don't think if I pressed you, if I said if Dardis and Shay win here, do you think they're winning the match? You still may not go there. You still think Cooper and Hanisch, or you think first hold just wins it?
No, I still would think Cooper and Hanisch.
Yeah. Oh.
Deuce.
Back to deuce. I mean, that is her ball, but that was not a solidly struck shot.
This is a dogfight.
I don't think Dardis and Shay have held since the first set.
Oh.
Advantage Cooper Hanisch.
Just an impatient decision there. That ball's got to be lobbed up.
Great shot there.
Looking
That's
for the
great.
nick.
Oh, Shay finds it all the time. She's one of the best at hitting it in there. Her overhead's like a, you know, it's very compact and very precise. There's a drive.
Deuce.
Just not in the slot.
Right shot. Just
But what I love about that is Dardis and Shay are making her win with that shot, which is clearly not on and not her best.
that's what I was saying earlier when they hit that hard overhead into the Cooper corner. They
Backhand,
give her the
yeah.
backhand. Make her beat you with the forehand. It's like that old baseball adage, don't get beat with your second best pitch.
Sure.
That's a brave blitz from Flor Hanisch.
I think
No. He's out.
it was out. Okay.
Time was out.
Thought we might see a little
Advantage Cooper
overrule there.
Hanisch.
I wasn't sure which was hit softer, the return or the volley.
You know, oftentimes that's why it's so important to change pace and to give your opponent different looks.
Well, you could see that serve. She was kind of out of sorts on it and rushed it.
Yep.
Hanisch 3, Dardis Shay 2.
Okay, I'm calling hold, Brad.
You're calling a hold.
Some might
Well-
call it brave, some might call it foolish.
Hanisch, you know, probably has held the most out of any of the players on the court today, but it's hard for me to Tell we didn't keep all the stats down there.
I would say broken the least, not held
Okay.
the most.
I've broken the least. There you go.
Yeah, I think the weather's going to hit the next hour or so.
I think it is. I mean, and whatever, there's a tiny bit. You can see the shininess on the court there. They, the lights are on, and there's a little water on there, but it shouldn't affect any play right now. But it's coming.
So who's going to blink, Brad?
It's just a battle. Hanisch should have, I think, held serve the last time she served. But threw in a couple of just mistakes.
Well, that's what I mean by blinking, right? Who's going to continue to hit the smart shot before kind of breaking?
Right, and this doesn't feel like, sometimes you just see one incredible shot after another and it's back and forth. This feels like the kind of match where whoever's just going to grind it out the best.
Yep, that's exactly what I mean. You see all 4 women playing a really smart, solid point right here.
But the recent opportunities have all seemingly come for Cooper and Hanisch. Opportunities. They haven't executed them enough, but they're getting more of them.
It's an interesting season of women's paddle, Brad.
Great lob.
Yep, because with Nicolescu and Cruz both having babies and not being around for nationals apparently, it's really
so good.
open. That's great defense from Shay.
And the smart bail. No. And then they're making them press.
Love 15.
They're feeling like they got to hit a winner when they could just keep playing the same point. Now, I understand that.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? It was a donation at the end. It was a rock solid point from all 4 women, 15, 20 good decisions, and then a blurt.
Right.
And to me, that's going to determine who walks away with the gold medal today.
Sure.
Who blurts less. It's not about who hits better shots.
Yeah, she played the point really well. She blitzed in, took the net back, and then Dardis and Shay just one more time. What a shot there.
Great
Love
lob
30.
from Dardis, sets up the big Shay forehand. She's really hurt him in the middle of the court with that ball.
Crushed that.
She spots it so well. She does such a great job of putting that on the right hip.
And she's so rangy with it, too. Like, oftentimes you'll see Amy Shay just kind of hang out in the corner. Then all of a sudden, she just takes a quick move to the center. No.
I always thought the mark of a good
Love
forehand
40.
is how many times you force your opponent to flip their paddle and volley on the forehand side. And I don't think
mean,
anybody does it as many times as Amy Shay does.
It's a great measure.
Great pace on that overhead.
1540.
It all disappeared to the bottom of our screen there. So
Very effective, and you can hit those overheads that disappear.
1540.
Seems like every game is 1540.
Yep. Another
Great
great lob.
That's the slot we talked
And
about.
oof. There's the
reverse
blurt.
Yep.
3040.
Look at that intensity in the Shay face.
Oh my
There's the
goodness!
flirt.
Again. That's
Game
that
Dardis
same
to Shay.
confusion that they've
Set
had
scores, 3
all day
all.
long.
Yep.
All day long.
And that was clearly Cooper's fault. I mean, that was a relatively easy overhead for Hanisch, and she just kind of flinched.
Yeah, but they also don't. But Cooper's standing right there. They're both standing right on
Yep.
the ball.
Yep.
You know, they have to decide how they want to play it too. Are they going to go in and work over, Dardis there, or is she going to take it, flip the ball to the other side, and shift over?
So Cooper and Hanisch out-blurted them there.
Yep. Great blitz. Oh, there's the forehand that you want her to beat you with
15
today.
love.
Good start, 15 love.
And that's a great example of what we talked about earlier, asking questions. Can you beat me with your forehand? Because I know she can do it with her backhand,
Right.
but you're not sure. And she's having a tough day with the forehand. Hasn't played a lot of paddle this year.
So at this point, would you still say, barring everything, if Gabby Nicolescu and Liz Cruz were playing, they would be the favorites to win a national?
I
Right?
think Gabby Nicolescu is by far and away the best player in the country.
And it's sort of what's getting to my point. When it comes to these situations where it's a grind, it feels like Gabby's got a gear that can force the point into overdrive. The hard rolling overhead, the moving
30
shot, the
love.
cutoff volley, and that gets people to scramble or to move a little bit more. And it turns less into this type of match for her, which is her extra gear. Right now we're missing whatever that gear is that can force the other team into a certain style of play or into errors.
I think that's a great analysis.
So we're just going to grind it through right now. That's well done. Oh, so well done.
Boy, Dardis has picked up so many balls like that. Wow, and that's Cooper's bread and butter.
40 love.
40 love for the first hold.
Yeah,
We'll see.
with Cooper to serve next.
So who's winning now, Mark?
Dardis and Shay are winning, Brad. They're up 40 love this game.
It would actually be fascinating. They do, like in professional football games in many sports now, the win
The odds,
percentage
yeah.
graph
40,
that goes up for
15.
every point and every moment and the time in the game, so on and so forth. And here,
I would put Dardis and Shay at 50.0001% now.
sure. That's scientifically
Game
derived,
Dardis
by
and
the way.
Shay.
Of course.
Set score. Dardis and Shay 4. Cooper Hanisch
Well,
3.
we've got a hold.
We got a hold. And, as much as Cooper Hanisch righted the ship, got in this, it's a grind now, they still haven't found their shots. They're still not, when the pressure's on, it's just going to be this grind.
Well, that last game was just a complete donation.
Well, and don't forget, there was a donation before.
Yep.
They played 4 points in a row. One into the absolute back screen. The first donation game, 2 misses there, right? It's feeding itself a little here.
But it's also recognition of what's going on and understanding that and dialing down your
No, we still
expectations
have
on the
three.
shots you're going to hit.
3
right?
more games.
For me, and I have a lot of experience playing badly, when I'm playing badly, I really try and hit the safe shot as much as possible.
Right.
And I haven't sensed that enough today.
So good at the net. Nice.
It's
It might
in
be getting
transition.
a little
15
slick out
love.
there now, too. I'm curious if the ball's going to pick up any moisture, if it's going to change the level or the type of play a little bit. This should help the net team put the ball away a little bit, this bit of moisture.
Shay has hit like 5 returns in a row right at Hanisch.
But they're just so hard. Hanisch is wisely just letting them go. She's crushing them.
Great patience by Hanisch on those wires, waiting for the ball to drop, to come off of it.
Ooh.
15
What do you
all.
think? Good decision, bad decision? Hadn't hit a lot of
I
those
mean, I
backhands
guess
today.
I'd think of it the way you'd say it before. You want to hit, that wasn't a shot she was expecting to hit or was set up with
High ball.
something prior. So given that it's a grind, I'd say bad decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it a hittable ball? Yes, it was. Do I think it was the right ball to hit given all that's going on out there? Absolutely not.
Good play by Dardis as she takes over the net.
Well, there's nothing about Cooper's serve that's designed to hold the net. You know, we're going to see this transition back and forth. It's just in the box.
So the only thing that's designed to hold the net is Hanisch being up there.
Right.
They've been much more effective serving to Dardis than they have Shay.
Well, Shay can really hammer that ball. Dardis, she can hit it, but she'll more roll it, and Hanisch has a much better chance of cutting it off. But one of the things I've loved is how many blitz points have you seen Cooper and Hanisch win in the last 7-8 games?
Not many.
Right, because it's out of the game. Something like that out of the game is definitely a check mark in favor of Dardis and Shay.
$30-15.
Shay moved for that ball very tentatively. I wonder if she's worried about the footing out there.
Yeah.
I think it's raining or not, Brad? I mean, the
I
court's
mean,
got that discoloration.
the
but if you
court
look at
is
the
definitely
lights,
wet.
I don't see a whole lot of
But
water.
I
under
don't
the
think
lights.
it's raining. I think it's a couple of drops here and there. So it's nothing consistent. The court is definitely wet.
I'd like to see Hanisch take a step to her right here. Try and volley this ball.
You think so? Ah, Cooper did not strike that.
30 all.
Partner was in a really vulnerable position. She paid for that decision.
Well, it's one of their plays.
Like the
Hanisch
play.
relies on Cooper dipping the ball low. That ball hung up,
Yep.
wasn't struck well, and you know you're going to pay the price for that. That'll work. The miss hit winner.
Followed by
Beautiful.
the insincere apology.
40-30.
This is big if their hold comes right back here. Grinding. Can't afford a blurt here from either side, really.
Be really surprised if Shay doesn't take this down the line.
Yep. It's actually she spots her drive great, but it's her best of the drives is hammering it down that line. So Nick missed it.
Oh, came out clean, nice and high.
Yeah.
But again,
Deuce.
when you're struggling that much on your forehand, that type of point, you got to put the ball back in play. I mean, the time has passed to kind of find your footing.
Yeah, but if you're going to hit a ball, it's that's like the number one. But you could decide right then and there. I'm only going to hit the exact ball that I want.
Right. That was clearly not the ball.
Oh, she missed it.
No, it was out.
Okay, ball called out and confirmed by the chair.
Advantage, Cooper Hanisch.
Big miss right there. Oh,
That was break point right now.
No, I saw that.
Very interesting. Still laughing, Cooper and Hanisch. I love it. For the 800th time. Hammers it down the line. I love it.
Now, do you think she should take in that ball more at Hanisch, try and win the point on the return?
That's an interesting point.
I mean, to me, you don't see enough of that because that's a really weak serve. So why not hit it right at somebody? And we have a hold.
I think it's a great
Game
point.
for
I think she
Hanisch.
should.
Set score is
'Cause
4-all.
the only reason Hanisch isn't trying to volley it is she knows it's moving so fast it's really hard to volley.
Right, and you're allowing her to stand up there. You got to make her pay.
Yeah. I've always said the really weak serve, and Cooper literally just lofting it in the box,
Can't be much weaker than
isn't
that.
a problem for the player serving. It's the problem for the guy at the net who
Yes.
gets rammed, the ball rammed at them. So I think it's a great point. Take one or two and just blast it right at her. I mean, you might say that's not sportsmanlike, but hey, if you're
Part
going
of
to
the
put a
game.
serve in like that, I
Yeah.
mean,
You don't like it? Stay back.
yes.
So it always mystifies me when people are upset and they get hit.
I think what upsets people more than anything else is if it gets hit high.
Well, high is a different story. I always feel
Correct.
like from the neck down is fine. The neck up is not acceptable.
Right.
Okay, another long grinding point.
But I think this is what you want Cooper to play right now. Grind it out, look for the right ball, don't miss, right?
Winning lob there from Hanisch.
Love 15.
You just feel like Cooper and Hanisch are going to find a way.
What's sort of on my mind right this second is if Kelly Diesel's right with his prediction of 6-4 and a third for Cooper Hanisch, we'd have to deal with him gloating the rest of the afternoon.
He does gloat brutally.
Uh,
I thought you were going to say it was on your mind was lunch.
do you think Dardis and Shay are getting tired at this point?
Haven't seen anything to indicate that.
And they're one of these teams that looks tired from the beginning
Yes.
some of the time. They have that sort of look about them, and then they just keep going and playing great. Great shot there.
15-all.
Tough blitz. Actually sets up Shay for the winner there.
Yeah, she kind of was a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been out there about 2 hours. It hasn't been an overly physical match.
It's been mentally grinding for
Yes.
sure, though. Oh, and again, she tries to hit
30,
the winning
15.
volley through Shay. Gives it a little extra sauce and creates the error. And that's going to be right there, the match. That type of thing, not that point, but who, just make less of those. Wow.
There's not much question that Dardis and Shay have played more matches that are 4-all in the third than any other team in the history of the game.
That's probably true.
30-all.
See Hanisch still bouncing around.
It's great. Incredible body language all the time from both players.
Look at both Hanisch and Cooper, 4 or 5 feet inside the baseline. Great pickup. Well, a couple of great plays there from Dardis.
Yeah, terrific. Oh, wow. Great get from Amy Shay. How about that?
40-30.
Great point. That was Hanisch, that was Cooper's strength, and she misses the backhand. Had them moving around. Court was kind of open. A little bit of a 50-50 ball, though.
Yeah. If Dardis gets this pointer, that's 3 holds in a row.
And it means something even more significant. It
Cooper
means
serving.
Kelly Diesel is
Game
wrong.
Kelly
Dardis
Diesel's
and
wrong.
Shay. Third
He
Say that
set,
again,
4.
Brad.
Dardis and Shay 5.
Kelly
Diesel
Diesel
is
is
wrong.
wrong.
Hanisch 4.
All right. So we got Hanisch now serving to stay in the match here at 4-5.
Had an early miss from Hanisch in transition that game. She put a little more on that volley than she needed to.
It's back there.
It's just coming down to these 1 or 2 balls here or there.
Yeah. Heather Prop reminding us that she called it.
They find a way. They just keep going. The old Energizer Bunny kind of thing. Just keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Hanisch has not held serve in a bit. Not this set.
Yeah, but some of it's been her own doing.
Yep, no question. That one game she missed those 2 short overheads. Now you see the rain falling.
Oh, great shot there.
Hanisch read that ball from Shay.
Yeah, you gotta cover your line when Shay's driving. She just crushes it there.
Now you're seeing both teams really buckling down. Yeah,
Ah, caught her
on the
in the
neck.
flip shot with
15
her
love.
Tough
body
ball.
facing the other way. Great shot.
But a
Surprised
well
her
played
that
point
screen.
on both sides. Wasn't it supposed to be really warm today, Brad?
It's supposed to be a 70-degree, almost record temperature. It does not feel that way at
No.
all.
Kind of chilly in
I
here.
wonder what the temperature actually is, but
Oh, Hanisch with a
15
fault.
all.
you think we'll see a match point here for Dardis and Shay in this game?
As good a guess as any. You know, working over that corner. I think Hanisch is doing a much better job of shifting when the ball goes into Dardis' corner. She beats her with the waterfall.
She did, but Dardis and Shay,
30-15.
they played exactly the point they wanted to play. They just never got the look they wanted to get.
They didn't lob very well at that
They
point.
did not.
She was in survival mode too much at that point.
Yep.
That's a smart play from Hanisch.
Staying back for one,
I
then
like-
coming in afterwards.
I don't like this setup for Cooper Hanisch because I don't think that Cooper has done as good a job as Hanisch dealing with that overhead in the middle.
Oh, great off-pace drive.
30 all.
It's under the net.
And the rain has officially arrived. Oh,
Match point. And she goes for again the
30-40.
big shot.
you see the rain on your screen coming down now.
Yeah, it's really coming now. She got it, but cannot come up with the shot.
Gutsy
Yes!
shot from Flor Hanisch.
Yeah,
She's
she's
missed
missed
a couple
few
of
and
those.
made a few, but
Match point down. Go for the
staying-
drop shot.
Staying confident. It was the right ball for it.
Absolutely.
Dishes are getting worse by a fast. The rain's really starting to come now.
I think we're headed for a third set breaker.
If they get out of this game, I'm going to say yes.
If they don't get out of this game, you're going to say no.
That's right.
Advantage, Dardis and Shay.
Got to have your options open, Mark. It's called a
Match
hedge.
point number 2. Good lob there.
Great shot. Ooh, what a lob.
Oh, she barely got that ball.
You know, they've been playing Dardis a lot, but they can't get her to move like that very often.
No.
That's the issue. They cannot get her scrambling, moving, playing shots from uncomfortable positions. Oh,
Deuce.
there we go.
Oh, the big breath from Flor Hanisch. She got a good view there.
That's it.
Deep breath. The tension is thick. It's good stuff.
Well, it's such a great grind, and it's great to see everybody competing with the last ounce. I wouldn't say it's the best game I've ever seen played, right? But
Very definitive
Great.
comment there.
and intense points.
Yeah, they're really competing. See all 4 women just really fighting their opponents and sometimes themselves.
Yeah, but this is the essence of sports, is doing well when you don't have all of your things. You know, finding a way to win.
Winning with your B game.
And there's that same drop she keeps using.
Advantage.
Inside
Cooper
out.
Hanisch.
Can you imagine how nervous Martin Bostrom is right now? He's probably just a wreck.
He probably is a wreck. I mean, he's holding on just by a thread as it is.
To begin with, when things
To
are
begin
good.
with, right.
And there's the hold for Hanisch.
But
Game,
I
Cooper
think that was
Hanisch.
weather related.
Set
She
score,
looked
5
way ahead of that
ball.
serve.
Time for
I
your
think
ball.
right now, I'm curious to see if Amy Shay's serve is going to start moving a little. Look at, I mean, it is really raining right now.
So, Brad, let me ask you a question. If both teams hold, do you think they'll play a breaker?
If both teams hold, they'll definitely play a breaker, Mark.
I like the definitive call.
No, but I think it's just gotten easier to hold for sure. The interesting thing is Cooper's next.
Yeah, Cooper, it's not
And
easier.
it's only easier to hold
The balls.
if you're hitting the ball through
Yep.
the court. Cooper hasn't hit a ball through the court the entire match.
Not
so
on serve.
if the serve and the return of serve is a factor, you'd have to give the advantage to Dardis Shay right now,
Yeah,
just based on the service order.
yeah. Having just lost 2 match points, though.
Yeah. Because you can hear the rain right now in our headphones.
Yeah, so after 6 consecutive breaks to start the third set, we have 4 consecutive holds.
And 2 match points there in that last game for Dardis and Shay. Oh, sneaky blitz.
Love Flor Hanisch's drop shot. I've always been such a big fan of playing to win, not to lose. She did that in the biggest of moments.
Oh, great move. Called out the
15
blitz.
love.
Got the overhead down low.
Yeah, I like the play. They're constantly hitting that push overhead deep to the Cooper forehand, and Hanisch saw an opportunity and took it. We got a text from Martin Bostrom that's in Swedish, so I can't really read it.
It's probably good.
I think he's aging rapidly is what he's trying to tell us.
I think that's what he is saying.
Boy, that's a ball that Cooper drives 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, but
I think it was the
today,
right decision.
This is what you got. And I have to think these conditions are making a difference right now. The Cooper roll is going to be harder to hit right now. You got to drive the ball through the court flatter when the rain starts coming.
And it is coming.
It is really coming. And I would think they would want Hanisch driving all the balls now, because Hanisch hits a flat drive with a modicum of spin, but she can flatten it out pretty well. And I would have Amy Shay hitting every one of these overheads from a low position and driving it through the court low and seeing if that ball's starting to move lower on the court, skid a little bit.
Even the overheads get problematic in this weather when you're looking up into the rain.
You can get hit with a raindrop, absolutely.
As Dardis misses that one. Good movement of the lobs. Really causing Dardis and Shay to move around a lot. Look how deep that one is.
Yep. Good shot right at the crease. What a lob. Just working this point. Nice. That to me looks like a little fatigue. She's so far back.
Yeah, you see her straddling the service line. They really worked her that point. I'm surprised Dardis and Shay aren't switching more at the net to put Shay's overhead in the middle. She really left Dardis on an island there.
Oh.
1540.
Be kind of fitting to have Cooper serve for the match.
Oh. I think that's what's going to happen.
Listen to that rain coming down. It's nice being inside, Brad, isn't it?
It is. Oh, look at that serve. There's the skidder.
30, 40.
It's the one you talked about. That
And
ball
if she
just
gets
jumped.
another one here.
But she
Right
faulted
back
here
into
last
split. Yeah,
point.
yes.
How
This is
confident
the
is she going
other-
after it?
The other part is you have to get your serve in that box. It's not as easy to hit the serves or anything in the rain. The ball's picked up a lot of moisture. Doesn't react off the paddle the same way. The paddle doesn't bite the ball well. When you hit it, the ball compresses. The moisture comes out of the ball first. It's a very different feel.
Yeah, the ball's starting to slide more and
Yep.
more.
Here's where, that's a great cross-court lob there.
And we talk about slide, which like the ball stays on the court a little bit longer, and then it comes off at a much lower angle. And you saw when that ball hit the wire, it's almost descending.
Yep, it actually skids or hydroplanes, which means the ball's actually moving forward on the water, not actually bouncing off the court. The ball skids low. So it's 15-40, and then 2 points affected by the skid of the ball. You know, it's an interesting thing to play a match with the rain halfway through versus to make the adjustment mid-match like this. It's not something you see all the time. That's out.
Yes, it was.
This is the lob long.
Advantage, Dardis and Shay.
Point for 6-5.
It might be just as interesting to see Cooper serve to stay in
In the
match.
match. I'm not sure she feels that way though, Brad.
Oh, great hands.
recovery.
The ball
Yeah,
skidded
Cooper.
into her.
Big blitz from Hanisch, and she's coming again.
I like it. She surprised her there, but oof.
Well, barely crawled over the net.
The rain stopped for a second.
Game, Dardis and Shay.
Couple of missed
Third
lobs
set
that
score,
game
Dardis
from
and Shay,
Cooper, and
6.
she'll serve to stay
Cooper
in the
Hanisch,
match.
5.
What do you got, Brad? Break or hold?
You know, I said it before, the advantage is to Dardis Shay, so I might as well finish it out. Say Dardis Shay, take it down.
But you
Just
think if
because
she,
I don't think she's going to serve and volley, and it's not bad being at the net now.
Yep. But you think if she holds, they'll play a breaker?
I actually am going to guarantee that.
Okay. Very brave of you. It's been a really interesting match. Just
a lot of
kinda
back and
down
forth.
and dirty.
Nobody found their game perfectly. Just a couple little changes in the way they went about their points, but Dardis and Shay pretty much stayed the same throughout. You know, grinding it, moving their way through it.
So much of this just comes down to belief.
Oh, great get. Should be hitting this and coming in. Oh,
15
cut off.
love.
Mistakes that hurt you.
well, they need to get a point here off Shay, who just crushes that drive flat and low. I could see this scene skidding right from the outset here. See that thing skidding?
Yep.
Great get there from Cooper.
And here's where lobbing well is just absolutely imperative.
Yeah, you got to get that ball up.
Because you can put that short lob away now. Great backhand from Hanisch. And conversely, when you have your shots in the backcourt, you got to swing.
Yes, and like I
30
said
love, I'm
before, I
sorry.
love the Hanisch drive in the wet weather is going to be better because you don't have to. She didn't roll it; she hits it. She struck that one really nicely. Wow.
I love the way Flor Hanisch is playing right now. Taking her swings. And there's a ball that skids.
30-15.
So it's just a questionable decision by Cooper, right? In the dry weather, that's fine.
I mean, I don't think it was a decision. I think she got the ball skidded away from her and she was just diving to try and get it.
You don't think she was trying to drive that ball?
I think she was just trying to get it. Or if she was, the ball skidded away from where she thought it would be as it was coming. That's it, 30 all.
all.
Two points from the match.
Oh, tricky. Wow. Oh, what a strange play.
Yeah.
She stood there,
40-30.
popped it up, waited for the ball. She did almost everything she could to help her out there.
Loved the lob return,
Wonderful.
but then didn't close the net and really allowed Cooper to hit the ball at her feet. Match deserves a tiebreak, Brad.
It does. That would be a fitting way.
Thank God Kelly Diesel didn't get the score right. That have made for a long weekend.
Although, law of averages, like you said before, eventually he will get something right.
Infinite number of monkeys, infinite number of typewriters. And there it is. We have a hold for Cooper, and we'll play a
Game,
tiebreak for the
set,
2020
score, 6
Midwesterns.
all.
Just like I guaranteed.
You did, Brad.
All right, so Dart is serving. You see Cooper try to adjust her drive, flatten it out. Ball staying lower, picking up the moisture.
Just hit the 2.5 hour mark. That serve was out by about 3 feet.
And you notice she changed her motion now. She's going to a more abbreviated push motion. Before she was tossing it higher, hitting it. The weather's definitely affecting things. So there she went for it.
Back to her original motion.
Oh,
She
heck of a
catches the
shot.
nick.
2-1.
See if Hanisch can take a hit at this return. The rain has stopped.
And that ball did not skid.
Nope. Oh,
Great.
what,
Oh, what a
hands. She's got that. Oh, so good from Amy Shay.
Oh.
Well done.
Amazing shot from Shay.
Well, once that ball floated back on on Cooper, you know, she ended up hitting a weak shot. And Shay just lined it up. Beautifully placed ball.
This is really to grab the tiebreaker by the throat. Great lob there. Forces the miss. What do you think, Brad? 18-16, 22-20?
Yeah, it's
Like
only fitting. It should be that way. Actually, you can actually see now the court's starting to dry off where the heaters are. That's good. I think the skid ball will be done.
Serving 3.
This quick, it's already ending. Oh, right at her. Great hands.
Hanisch is up, Hanisch is back. Hanisch is up, Hanisch is back. What do you think, Brad? How's this point going to end? Let me guess, a miss lob long by Hanisch?
Miss lob long by Hanisch.
4.
Oh, they've had much more success against Dardis than they had against Shay.
That's right.
I just think Hanisch should take one step to her right and try and volley this ball. Where she is now, she cannot volley it.
Wow. That is just too good. 5-2.
They take both points on the Cooper serve, and Dardis and Shay are, dare I say it, in control.
Well, they're certainly in the driver's seat right now without any blurts. It's hard to imagine in the conditions somebody just coming up with the goods on these huge drives when they haven't really done it all day.
Nope.
So if Dardis and Shay can avoid missing an overhead or something, then they got a good chance for sure.
Great lob, Dardis there.
And an incredible pickup, by the way, from Dardis, because that was a good return from Hanisch.
And now they just want to wait for the skid ball.
I don't think it's going to skid, but just don't give them the right ball. Make them beat you with a shot. We haven't seen it yet.
The ball's still not coming off the wires real clean. That overhead Amy Shay hit into the Cooper corner just didn't come out at all. Oh,
Ooh, I thought that was going out. Well covered that time from Cooper.
this could be a long point. Seam and Nick. Great decision
there's
by
a little-
Hanisch to let that ball
Hanisch
go
just got to
through.
move over. She didn't. I'm surprised they didn't slide one into that forehand corner. Oh my goodness, there's the blurt. Great point.
5-3. Yeah, 5-3.
Wow.
I mean, that's an overhead she makes 1,000 times out of 1,000.
Yeah, but she's feeling the opportunity in the point.
But I'm
She's
saying,
going for something.
right, at this point in the match.
You know, when you go for more, you're going to miss it more. That's it. And
then
there's
they mess up the formation.
a stunning lack of communication at 5-3 up in the tiebreaker.
For a team that's played together 30 years.
I mean, they used telepathy and stuff, but that was
Wow.
shocking.
Shocking is a good choice of words.
I mean, because Dardis just went up the line assuming that, that Shay was shifting to the middle.
But I love Amy Shay switches sides. She reaches out. She fives Dardis, and let's go.
Yep.
That's gone. This is the point we have to play now. Hanisch
Incredible.
faulted here last time.
Ooh. Oh, nice
Look where
cut
Hanisch
off.
is.
Oh,
Catches the
puts a
skid
little
ball.
cut, and she hits it on the rise.
But again, of the four women, you see Flor Hanisch really playing to win. Going after her shots. She cut off that first volley. We'll have a match point after this one. Question is, who will have it?
Oh, great play. What
Hanisch
hands from
again.
Hanisch?
Stepping up, making the big shots and the big moments.
5-2 up, and 4 in a row for Cooper and Hanisch.
Match point.
It's kind of just the way the whole thing's been going, isn't it?
Yeah. Amy Shay taking a long time.
I feel like we've seen more of these points lost with missed overheads and things like that, and missed lobs, right?
6-all.
Than won. And just we had it there again.
That was Cooper's ball. She just didn't get her feet in position. Each team has now saved match point. I think it's a good idea they're having a conversation here.
Right. I mean, saving isn't what it was done, though. I mean, it's just,
Donate it?
yeah, it's been an interesting turnaround in all cases.
Cooper serves next.
That's going wide.
A couple misses from Cooper. They'll switch sides, and she'll serve to save the third match point. The good news is for her, she's serving to Dardis, not Shay.
7.
It's been a big difference serving to Dardis and Shay, because Shay really just crushes it. Dardis, her ball's picked off by Hanisch most of the time. We'll see. Oh, another amazing lob.
Hard overhead.
It's going hard.
Great
Great.
dig.
It's excellent control and patience.
But you want to see Cooper at the net now.
So smart by Dardis, continuing
To lob.
to lob the guy
That's-
who's moving around at the net, Hanisch. She's looking to pick it off, so you just keep her back.
You surprised that Cooper's not coming in?
Well, at this point, yes. There she comes.
Here it comes.
So good. That's out.
Game, set, and match. Dardis Shay,
How
6-2,
about
3-6,
that?
7-6.
Incredible match, Mark. I mean, the wrap up there, what do you say?
Just four women competing, grinding it out. Just really fun, exciting paddle.
It was exciting. It was, Dardis and Shay did exactly what they needed to do to hang in there all the way. Cooper and Hanisch could never find the right rhythm to make enough of their shots, and when they did, they missed as many as they made, and it was just a grind at the end.
Okay, we're going to take a fast break here. Then Brad's going to have an interview with our winners right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
It's a 60-year love affair, as passionate as the day it began. It's where the dream and the reality are one and the same. It's safety in its most exhilarating form. It is the 2020 E-Class, the quintessential Mercedes-Benz, made new all over again. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I play to be a role model in my neighborhood.
I play to be part of the team.
I play to be stronger than my brothers.
I play to channel my energy in a positive way.
I play because the field is where I shine. I play to be a part of something bigger than myself.
I play to stay healthy. I play to feel powerful.
I play to win.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. For Rolex and tennis, the tradition began in 1978 and has grown to include the most iconic majors and tournaments since, supporting the legends, champions, and rising stars committed to the future of the game. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
Of the 2020 Midwesterns tournament, Amy Shay and her partner Cynthia Dardis. Guys, congratulations! That was like a battle for the ages right there. 2.5 or almost 3 hours, and you went through conditions, wind, rain. Well, no sun, but it must have felt like a battle out there. So how good does it feel to come through?
Oh my God, it feels wonderful. We lost to them last year in the finals in 3 sets as well. So with elements, rain, wind. So we're both ecstatic.
I mean, it must feel great. For us in the booth, we were literally on the edge of our seats many times, and we were talking just a moment off air before we got on here, and you know, loose points seem to be the determining factor. Did you guys sort of notice that, and at crucial times just say, you know what, we'll dial it in, we'll make sure we don't make the wrong error?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had some loose points as well, but we did a better job of getting over them and moving on. And I think that's one thing we've been working on, right, Cynthia?
Yes.
Positivity.
Positivity. And, you know, it's like we don't want to play not to lose. You have to play to win, you know? Right. So it's a hard balance that we're working on.
Right, go ahead.
We drove a lot less balls than we normally would. We've had, you know, like, anyway, we're trying to just change our game up a little bit. I won't tell you how, because then that would wreck everything.
Well, that's perfect. It's good to keep a few secrets. Yeah. Now, when it came down to lobbing, did you have a specific strategy with how you were going to lob, or?
I lobbed down the line. That kept my corner safe.
Keep your corner safe. Don't let them move you around too much. Yeah. Well, listen, that's a terrific result, and it was a really exciting match to watch, and it really came down right to the end. Yeah. And congratulations to our winners of the 2020 Midwesterns, and
Thank you.
Go enjoy the fruits of your labors.
Yes.
All right, Amy, Cynthia, thank you very much.
Thank you.